Hey everybody, Scott Spreitzer here from DocSports.com. It is Friday, May 11th. We got a free pick coming up in just a moment. We've got a lot to talk about on this particular video for Friday because I'm also going to release my first NFL over-under wins total future on this report. We're going to have a bunch of those throughout the next few weeks, but we're going to start with one of the ones we like the most right off the bat on Friday. That's coming up along with the free play. Couple of quick notes. We got a couple baseball premium plays going on Friday at DocSports.com. Remember, I am 100% exclusive at DocSports.com. We just jumped on board with the gang over at DocSports.com about a month ago. 100% exclusive. That's where you can find all my premium plays. If you've yet to become a member, click on the link below this video and sign up for your free $60 account on Friday. Let's talk quickly about the NBA before we jump into everything else because I wanted to talk about this movement in the series price in the Eastern Conference. Every Wednesday night, and it'd be great if you guys tuned in, every Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, I'm on Mad Dog Radio, Sirius XM. I'm on The Wrap. It's hosted by Patrick Maher. Really knows his stuff when it comes to betting as a host. He does a great job. Anyway, on Wednesday's show, we were talking about where this series might open, and I said, boy, I think Cleveland ought to be about a minus 300 favorite over Boston to win the series. As we were talking on the air, it opened minus 240 offshore, comeback on Boston, plus 200, and we saw right away that was way too short. I think the Superbook at the Westgate opened around 275. Well, as of right now, as we talk about this particular series, it's as high as 310, minus 310 Cleveland in the series at the Westgate Superbook. A lot of 290s, a lot of 300s out there. And basically, it's gotten to the point where we thought it should have opened. Cleveland around minus 300 in this series. That's where it is right now. Game one, of course, in the East tips off on Sunday. This was a pick last night. Cleveland now a 1-point favorite. Total down a little bit from 205 down to 204, 204.5. Over in the West, that series was 190. Golden State, the favorite, comeback on Houston, plus $1.65. As we speak right now, it's up over $2 now, around minus 210, Golden State over Houston. They tip things off on Monday. Golden State in that particular game has gone from a 2-point dog to a 1.5-point dog. That total right now around 225. And I got to tell you right now that if you like Golden State, may as well take them around minus $1.30 or so to win the whole thing rather than minus 210. To knock off the Houston Rockets. We'll talk more about both the NBA Eastern Finals and Western Finals as we get a little bit closer to Sunday's tip-off in the East. All right, looking up at my numbers, early movers for Friday. By the way, these early movers, we don't always play them, and we tell you when we don't. We haven't played, going into Thursday, we hadn't played like 3 or 4 in a row, and they've been losing. The early money has been losing on these baseball games. One significant early mover thus far for Friday, going against the Pittsburgh Pirates are the early movement, and backing the San Francisco Giants. Pittsburgh opened as high as a $1.45 favorite in that particular book. They're already laying less than $1.30. You've got Suarez going for the Giants. He's filling in for Johnny Cueto. His last 2 starts have been pretty good. He's made 3 overall. Last 2, he's looked solid. He's making his 4th start of the season in this particular game. Pittsburgh is going to go with Jameson Taillon, and it's been up and down situation where I think he's going to struggle a little bit on Friday night. And I'll say this much about Pittsburgh also, the situation they're in. First game at home after a 9-game, 10-day road trip. They did have yesterday off while the Giants lost to the Phillies. But the bottom line is always difficult, it seems like, for teams, especially middle-run teams, to get adjusted back to being at home after a long road trip. That's the case. Significant overnight early move so far on the San Francisco Giants. We got a free pick coming up in just a bit. All of our games, by the way, our free pick, our premium pick, other than the NHL, are still underway. They're late in their games, and it's a situation where we're cutting this a little bit early on Thursday night. We'll update everything, the records, on Friday. I'll say this much, though. We did lose the under 5.5 in the NHL game. Pekka Rinne, boy, what a terrible start. Gave up 2 softies, 2-0 out of the blocks. He gets pulled halfway through. And then, of course, the over cashes late on an empty net goal by Winnipeg. They'll take on the biggest Golden Knights in the Western Conference Finals starting on Saturday. All right, before we get to the free pick, let's talk a little bit about the NFL, because as promised on yesterday's video, I said we'd start jumping in to the NFL and our over-under win plays for the upcoming season. Going to start with this one, the Buffalo Bills, over-under win total, basically 6.5 juice under. I think that 6.5 juice under is a fair price. I know they won 9 games last year, but if you look at those 9 games, in 8 of the 9 wins, they significantly won the turnover battle. The one game, the one win where they didn't win the turnover battle was an overtime win. They had to go to overtime to knock off the Colts. You also look at that offense, as I mentioned, they stunk. 8 of 17 games, they scored less than 17 points. Final 9 games of the season, including the 10-3 loss to the Jaguars in the playoffs, they averaged just 14.6 points per game. So they go out, they get a quarterback in Josh Allen out of Wyoming in the draft. They've got Allen. They're going to have A.J. McCarron, Nathan Peterman, basically this summer. No one to throw to. Offensive line is okay as far as the run. Not great against the blocking for the pass. And they really didn't go out and get a lot of help there. I think the defense will still be strong. The offense is going to be a serious problem for Buffalo. Check out the schedule. 2 of the first 7 games for Buffalo this year will be on the road. Excuse me, 5 of the first 7 games for Buffalo this year will be on the road. Only 2 at home. And those road games come at Baltimore, at Minnesota, at Green Bay, at Houston, at Indianapolis, and even Indianapolis expected by a lot of folks to be a bit better this year, especially if Andrew Luck can be healthy and go. When they come home after the first 7 games, they host the New England Patriots. I think there's a really strong possibility that the Buffalo Bills start 1-7 through their first 8 games this year. I don't see them winning more than 5 games in the second half of the season. They'll probably finish up with 5 wins overall on the season. And our first over-under win total, Buffalo under 6.5. Got to lay a little bit of juice with that. We're going to have more NFL over-under win totals throughout the next several weeks on these videos, and we'll tell you when we're going to have them so you'll be able to sure and watch. Free Major League Baseball for Friday in just a moment. Again, want to mention if you're not yet a member at DocSports.com, click on the link below, set yourself up for the free $60 account. I've got a couple of baseball plays going on Friday's card. Bounce Back Friday for us. You don't want to miss out on those. Couple of baseball plays on Friday. Again, sign up for the free account. $60 free account by clicking on the link below. Free pick for Friday's Major League Baseball. The Cardinals around minus $140 or so. We think that's fair on the road against San Diego. They're going to have Weaver on the mound. The Friars will counter with Lauer. Neither starter with sizzling numbers right now, but while the Cards are averaging over 5 runs per game on the road against Southpaws, and Lauer's a lefty, the Padres are 0-9, or they were 0-9 going into Thursday's series opener. 0-9 at home night games against righties where they average under 2.5 runs per game. I like the Cardinals to get the job done. I think $140 or so is a fair price if you like St. Louis. Hey, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you like what you see. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you to those who have subscribed thus far. And by the way, if you do leave your comments, we get to them a lot of times late night, early morning, but we will answer those, and you can check out for the answers when you do comment. Again, thumbs up button, subscribe if you like what you see. We'll be right back here Saturday morning, no later than 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, with our next free pick and our next report. Put Friday in the win column. We'll talk to you Saturday morning.